Now again, welcome back to Prospect Hut. We're going to get into this video about this overlooked prospect. I don't think he's on any list. That had a very good season debut just the other day. This is from Rising Apple. Headline: Overlooked New York Mets prospect deserves your attention after an excellent season debut. Wow, it's funny you should mention that. Let's read this article. Let's read this article. New York Mets have plenty of prospects in the minor leagues that have potential to shine, and at some point expand on their talents in the major leagues. There's one prospect in the Mets single A team who's off to a great start to the season and deserves everyone's attention. The prospect is right-handed pitcher Will Watson. They drafted him last year. Mets prospect Will Watson should get attention after an excellent debut. On Tuesday, April 8th, Watson made his season debut against the Lakeland Flying Tigers. He went 4 1/3 innings, striking out 7 batters and only allowing 1 run in the walks. The run he allowed was an unearned run, keeping both his ERA and his WHIP at 0.00. Isn't that interesting? Watson, the 23-year-old 2024 7th-round draft pick from Southern California, who the Mets signed in July 24, activate 2 months later, has lots of outstanding statistics that should draw the attention of fans. His four-seam fastball is a good example. It was mostly around 90 miles per hour with the highest up to 97 his first start on Tuesday. His slider was effective as well. He got a whiff and chase rate of 83.3%, using that pitch just 7 times. Also in his first start, he used other pitches such as his changeup, cutter, and sinker. He used his cutter for the majority of his outing over any other pitch. Overall, he threw 56 pitches, and 36 of them were strikes. With one start in 2025 already under his belt, Watson has appeared to have used multiple pitches to his advantage based on how quickly he can make his pitches. Thus, he's made good progress on his potential to be a solid prospect in the Mets farm system. Although he's currently in single A, it's encouraging to see him succeed this early in his minor league career. Before his first start of the season, Watson was already progressing well. When he was playing in college, USC, he had a winning record of 5-2 and 50 1/3 innings pitched in 2024. So, I've said this many times. The great thing about baseball is that pitchers in particular can come out of nowhere to really be contributors to your team. Last draft, the Mets drafted pretty much college players. They drafted very few high school players last year. Very few, They had 20 picks. They drafted 18 players that signed. At least 15 of them were from college. Watson's from college. Most of the pitchers were from college. And these guys are going to potentially have the chance to really help the Mets. That's the one thing about drafting college players is that they can help you right away. And he could be in the bullpen. He could be a back-end starter. He could be anything. And with the Mets pitching lab, the potential there is enormous. Because you've been paying attention to what's going on at the major league level, you see guys pitching really well. Like, just early on, Griffin Canning pitching well for the Mets. Clay Holmes pitching well. I mean, guys that just came over here. And then we saw last year, Chaminade, Luis Severino being able to stay healthy. So the Mets have this sort of infrastructure now that they can bring in pitchers and just tinker with them a little bit here and there. So we'll use this pitch, don't use that pitch, or use this pitch more often and scale back that pitch. And you'll get better results. And you're seeing that at the major league level. Now, the Mets signed all these guys, all these college pitchers, and a lot of them had injuries in college, but they all have high potential. Watson's a 7th-round pick, which I think is interesting. And he's been to college. That means he's pitched in big spots. That's probably liked him a lot that they signed him. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on him. But he's not on any list, by the way. But we could see guys come from out of nowhere and be on a list next year. Jonah Thong is a good example. He's a graduate of the pitching lab, and being able to isolate pitches, being able to isolate your mechanics in a way that really maximizes your pitches and maximizes your pitch count. So it's a very exciting time for the Mets, and particularly the pitching. because the pitching had, over the last 3-4 years, the Mets have not produced a lot, and that we're starting to see some players coming up to the surface. That's why I don't see them. To be honest with you, I don't really see them bringing in any big player from another team to pitch for them, because I think they feel like they can bring in people that can do that at the major league level and keep the costs low as much as they can. I mean, the Mets have the highest payroll in baseball, but they can find to keep the costs down by using young players, and that's really what the game is anyway. It's more about the young players than it is about the older players. But let me know what you think about this video, and of course, please subscribe to Prospect Hut. I'll see you later.